It's Fernando Ruiz Art.
Hi everybody. Today we're going to continue with our look at two-point perspective. And if you watched one of my most recent videos, which I will link to in the description below, we started putting a cube, a simple cube, at simple two-point perspective at eye level. So what I want to do today is play with that eye level a little more. So I've drawn that horizon line, which as I've said in previous videos, horizon line is a little bit of a misnomer. When we use that term horizon line, really what we're talking about is the eye level. So I'm establishing my eye level there, but right now I'm going to work below eye level. And as always, whenever you're putting something into perspective, you want to start with the point of that object that is closest to you. So doing a simple cube, there's going to be a part of that cube, a corner of that cube, which will be closest to me. So I'm going to go from here, let's go, yeah, about, what is that, 2.5 inches. Okay, so I've got a cube, I've started a cube right there, 2.5 inches. Okay, now I'm going to establish my horizon line. I'm sorry, not my horizon line, I've got that already. My vanishing points. So I'm going to need 2 vanishing points. You know what? I'm going to shorten this just to be able to get this and that horizon line into the same shot. Okay, at the same time, because that'll be helpful. So once again, I could pick anywhere I want on that horizon line for my vanishing points, so long as my vanishing points are on either side of where this line is. So you kind of have to envision that line continuing on up through the horizon line, and your vanishing points can be anywhere you want on either side of this line. So I'm going to put I'll go here. I'm going to call this my vanishing point right, and I'm going to go way over here. Okay. And I'm going to call this my vanishing point left. Okay. Keep in mind your selection of those vanishing points. Again, they could be anywhere. The closer those vanishing points are to this line, the more extreme of an angle you're going to have. Okay, and that's especially true in two-point perspective, where it's very easy to get an extreme angle. Okay. So I'm going to go to the top of this line, right? And I'm going to draw a receding line from the top of that line to vanishing point left. And I'm going to go to the bottom of that line, and I'm going to draw a similar line to vanishing point left. And then I'm going to do the same thing from those same 2 points, but this time going to vanishing point right. A receding line and a receding line that way. Okay, so I've got my 2 planes, and they are stretching out forever and ever. So now I have to decide where I want these planes to end. So I'm just going to follow along this line, and I'm going to say, I want my box to be this deep. And that's totally up to me. I'm deciding how deep to make that box, so I'm picking that point. If I wanted to make a narrower box, yeah, I'd come in closer, or a deeper box, I'd go out further. So it is a choice you get to make, and that is just reinforcing that line there so it's easier to see. That is something about perspective, is that often people think perspective is completely mechanical, as if we don't have any say in these choices, but we do. So keeping perfectly parallel with my first vertical, I'm going to continue up from where I established that point. And now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm going to decide this side of the cube is going to be, say, that deep. You know, maybe I'll go a little deeper there. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing, making sure I'm perfectly parallel with all my other verticals. And I'm going to go on up here. Okay. All right. So now we're really going to make this into 2-point perspective. Okay. Each of these lines that I just drew on either side, my left vertical and my right vertical, they each have a top and a bottom. So from the top of my left vertical, I'm going to draw a line to vanishing point right. And from the bottom of my left vertical, I'm also going to draw a line to vanishing point right. Now I'm going to do the same thing from the top of my right vertical, but going to vanishing point left. And from the bottom of my right vertical, and going to vanishing point left. Now, if I've been nice and precise about this, these top lines should be crossing over right directly above the bottom lines, where the bottom lines cross over. So I should be able to connect those intersecting points and match them up. And there, and I'll reinforce the lines of the cube, because I know sometimes some people have a hard time seeing the cube for all these lines. But there is our cube in 2-point perspective below eye level. So we are looking down at this cube, and that's why we could see the top of the cube as well as 2 receding sides. We're seeing more because we're kind of treating the cube as though it's transparent, but were it not transparent, we'd be seeing this side, and the top of it. Okay, we have time to very quickly, let's do another cube, this one above eye level. And this will go quick. Trust me, I don't want to put you through a lot of repetition here. Although actually repetition is great for perspective. It really is. The more you see this stuff in action, so I'm just going to go with a nice 2-inch line here. The more you see this in action, the more it's reinforced, the more it's programmed into your head. So basically, I'm going to do the same exact thing that I just did below eye level, only now I'm doing it above eye level. So I've started with that corner closest to us from the bottom or the top. It doesn't matter which. The order doesn't really matter here. I'm going to go to vanishing point left and then to vanishing point right. And I'm also using the same 2 vanishing points because they're there. You know, if I wanted to, I could have added 2 other vanishing points, but those vanishing points were there, so I'm just going to make use of them again. Okay, now I'm at the point where I need to decide how deep to make this box. So I could follow either of these lines, and I could say, yeah, let's go here. And on this side, I could say, yeah, let's go here. Okay, now I'm going to take my ruler, stay nice and parallel with my vertical. I'm going to move over to this point and draw another vertical line going down. And I'm going to move over to this point. Again, making sure to stay nice and parallel. I could even use my ruler and measure to make sure I'm equal distance if I wanted to be super precise about it. I'm not being that precise, mostly in the interest of time. But I could be if I wanted to. So if you really wanted to be super careful, which I always encourage, go for it. Okay, so now just like we did before, I'm going to go from the top and bottom of my left vertical to my right vanishing point, just like before. From there to there, and from here to there. Then I'm going to do the same thing from this side. Top of my right vertical and the bottom of my right vertical. Now we have a case here where two lines are almost directly on top of each other. And that's a little dangerous. It makes things a little hard to see. You know, it makes it a little easier to get lost, but it can happen. It's still correct perspective. Now notice these lines are crossing over here and crossing over here. So I can lock them up. Okay, they should be directly above and below each other, and they are. And I'm just going to reinforce my lines here so you can see what I've done. And my end result should be a nice cube. Not a perfectly square cube. I didn't really measure this thoroughly or really eyeball it too carefully. You know, I'm doing a little bit of freewheeling perspective here. But hopefully you guys will get the idea. So I'm hoping I'm darkening this enough so that you guys can see the cube for all of my reseating lines, all of my guidelines. So that is my cube now above eye level, okay? So now we see the bottom of the cube as well as two reseating sides, each side going one to the left and the other to the right. So there are my two cubes above and below eye level, and that's how it's done. Did that make sense? Did that clear up any perspective questions you might have had with 2-point? If there's any confusions, any questions at all, please put them down in the comments section below. Please let me know. Please also let me know what you thought of this video. And any other perspective questions that you may have, any other things that you would like to see me do with perspective. And I'm certainly going to keep going because there's a whole lot that we can do with perspective, and there's some things that we can, some fun things we could do still with 2-point. So keep a lookout for sequels to our adventures in 2-point. And make sure you tune in and check them out. And if you like this, as always, please click like, subscribe if you haven't, and be sure to tune in for the next video. Okay? Thanks a lot, everybody, and keep drawing. Bye-bye, everybody.